All right, good evening. This is the second demo for our server server development course, um, where we are building a news website. Um, right now, currently, the main things that I've been working on is error handling, just in case you click on one of these links up here, something like this happens, to where it will do either a redirect or just to give a little, hey, something broke, essentially. And that's what I've been working on. Shreya, what exactly do you want to explain a little bit about what you've been working on?
Yes, sure. Okay, so on our second demo, I've been working on the news card and the news feed, and also tried doing the categories for the nav bar at the top. Yep, right there. So when you click on it, it takes you to like business news, like business related news. But I was having trouble doing that, so Maria actually helped me with the code and she got it working somehow. So I was thankful for her for that. But other than that, I was working on the news feed, which currently it looks okay, but that's not the final sizing that we want. We want all of the news feed to be side by side, but we're kind of having trouble sizing that at the moment. So this is what we have for now. And we will keep trying to get what we want. But for now, that's all we have. And I have also done the news card, which generates news. So it's like a card that's bringing news into the that card. So kind of like what's in the happening now. So in that little card, we're using our API to like pull the articles. So that's all that is about. But yeah, that's all I've been trying to do.
All right, and that's what we've got so far. I know Maria has some more that she would like to talk about.
Okay, I'm Maria. I had to record mine separately from my group. I was unable to attend at the time that they were able to record. So I see that they already were able to pretty much demonstrate the website. So I'm just going to really jump into my changes and the code and the changes I implemented and all that. I refactored the index.js file. So now it uses a React router. And so I introduced routing. So now we have routing capabilities within our application, so we can handle different URLs and render different components based on the URL path. And in the featured news component, I made a slight adjustment. How I mentioned before, how I wanted uniqueness for the carousel and the featured news, and I did that by just doing this slice. So what I'm doing in the happening now is with the news articles, I'm slicing and only taking the first and second article with the slice method because it's exclusive. And then when you go up to the carousel, I'm starting at two, so where we left off, and up, which is inclusive. So another thing I implemented was searching capabilities. So now if you go up here and you search something, you'll get results. And right now it's for any language. It's not really specified to English, which is why you'll see like this different kind of language, which I may adjust. But and then no results. So here I added a button, a function, handle search submit. So when you submit the button with the search, so when you click the search button or submit, I got prevent default, so I won't reload the page. So then it just navigates the URL to be this right here, which is just slash search with the query and then whatever you're searching. And then encode URI component just make sure like to safely insert into the URL. So in this search results component, I'm using use location, which is to get the current URL that's currently in the app, which will be that search that we just navigated to. Then I'm using URL search params, and then I'm doing location.search to get the query string part of the URL. This is just to get the actual value of the Q parameter in the query, which is whatever the user is searching. And this, of course, is just some state. And here I'm just sending an await fetch request. I could have used Axios, but I completely forgot about it. I normally use fetch, so I used fetch, but I can definitely, I'll either leave this or just change it so that all the pages are the same. But just for demonstrations, I'll just continue on. So I'm using await so that it'll wait for the response before it continues, to make it asynchronous. And then it also uses that encode URI component, which I mentioned before. It's just to safely include the search query into the URL. So, you can't have any special characters or anything like that. It'll safely convert it to something that's actually acceptable. And so then it'll fetch from the API, because the API has searching capability with the keyword. It'll get a response, and then I'll set the state of the search results to the response. And of course, if it's empty or if it's nothing, then it'll just be an empty array. And down here, so if it's empty, it's just going to say no results, as we saw with the -1. Or if it has stuff, then it's just going to map it into the news cards, which Shreya created the news card component. Originally, Shreya got started on this, but she was having some trouble, so I helped out with the component category. So I'm going to demonstrate that real quick. So when you click on each component, it renders the articles and news cards of that particular category. So I just went to business. So this is all the articles that are about business, and they're rendered on the page. The way I went about that is, again, back to the index.js. I created a route for the category component. So by setting up children or nested routes in index.js, which I did using React Router, in app.js, I had to set up an outlet so that React Router knows where to display content for those nested routes, because without it, it wasn't working right. I'm using the link component from React Router DOM for client-side navigation. So depending on which category you pick on the navigation bar, as I just showcased, it'll update the URL accordingly. If we go to the category component, we'll see that I'm using the use params hook, which is just to get the category from the URL by extracting the parameter. And so then it just sends another fetch request, and as mentioned, I'll switch these over to using Axios, but it's just sending another fetch request to that URL with the specified category, and that's how it's dynamically switching to the category that you want to go to. So a full demonstration of the website. As mentioned, this newsfeed will be fixed, and these are both unique. And now we can filter by category, or if we want to search for a specific keyword, we can do so. Let's say I put in Bitcoin, and that'll give me all the results it has for Bitcoin. And as mentioned, right now it's currently not filtering out languages, so you'll see all kinds of different languages, which is fine for right now. And that concludes this demonstration.